The high holidays are over. We are now at the time of Sukkot, the Zaman Simchasenu, the season of our rejoicing. As I reflect on my past, I think back to what has to be the most memorable Sukkot of my life. It took place in 1997 when I was sabbatical, and shortly after Yom Kippur Tefillah, Sherry and I got on a plane for 3 months in Israel. We got there just in time for me to go on Erev Sukkot to purchase my lulav and esrog. And I had decided that because this was the first time I would be celebrating Sukkot in Israel, I committed myself to making sure that I would have the most beautiful esrog and lulav that I had ever had in my life. Money would be no object. So here it was Erev Sukkot, and Sherry and I got up early in the morning to start our search in quest for the most beautiful lulav and esrog. We headed straight for Meir Sha'arim, the ultra-Orthodox center of Jerusalem, where street after street, store after store were filled with lulavim and esrog. Not hundreds, not thousands, but seemingly tens of thousands of lulavim and esrogim in one vast outdoor park. Stalls had been set up where esrogim of every size and shape were on sale. Fat ones, skinny ones, bumpy ones. And the park was filled with chassidim purchasing esrogim and lulavim, fat ones, skinny ones, and bumpy ones. And there I was, dressed in my blue button-down shirt and Levi jeans, and I was being bumped. Nobody was paying much attention to me. If only they knew that I was the one in that huge throngs of with hundreds of dollars in my pocket, ready to spend on an esrog. But to them, I was some stranger from out of space. And after spending more than 3 hours going from store to store, store to store, looking at what seemed like every esrog this side of the Jordan River, I gave up on Meir Sha'arim and headed for the Jewish quarter of the old city. There I knew I would find the most beautiful esrog. There weren't as many esrog vendors as I had expected, but there were enough to provide me with a choice, but none really met with my approval. And a little bit of panic began to set in as I began to realize that as time was going by, there seemed to be fewer and fewer even decent looking esrogim. So I quickly hopped a cab to the main center of downtown Jerusalem, dragging Sherry along, already hearing from her what she planned to do to me with the lulav I was going to purchase. Downtown Jerusalem was almost empty. It was late in the day. Most everyone had already gone home to prepare for Yontif. There was only one lulav and esrog stand that I could see right outside the Lev Yerushalayim Hotel. I ran up to the man behind the table and I said, please, money's no object. Give me the most beautiful lulav and esrog you have. Any price and I'll take it. And he gave me the most beautiful lulav and esrog that he had. That lulav looked like a stalk of celery that was suffering from scoliosis. And the esrog was the same size and color of a gallstone. That's what happened to me in 1997 on the day before Sukkot, and I tell it to you because I think it has some important lessons. 3 to be exact. One is a Rosh Hashanah lesson, one is a Yom Kippur lesson, and the third is a Sukkot lesson. The Rosh Hashanah lesson. On Rosh Hashanah, we extend to each other wish for a Shana Tova, a good year. You ever wonder why that's our wish? Why not go for broke? Why not hope for a great year, a fantastic year, a year in which all of our dreams will come true? Why settle for a good year? My story reminds us why. If you wait for great, if you wait for fantastic, you can end up with very little. Great and fantastic rarely come in life, but good is good enough. Enjoy it. The Yom Kippur lesson. After what happened in 1997, I better understood why there's a tradition that immediately when Yom Kippur concludes, that very night, you're supposed to go outside and start building your sukkah. What's the rush? Why can't you wait a day or two? Because of the concept of mitzvah haba liyotcha al tachmitzenu. When the opportunity to perform a mitzvah comes, don't delay a moment. If only I had thought of that when I was in Mea Sharim. Here today, gone tomorrow is the reality of life. So if you can do something good, take a lesson from Nike. Just do it. And finally, there's the Sukkot lesson. We celebrate Sukkot by building a small annex to our homes, just a few boards and branches, inviting friends and drinking wine and eating fruit in it for the week of the holiday. Sukkot is a celebration of the beauty of things that don't last. The little hut, which is so vulnerable, will be dismantled at week's end. The ripe fruits, which will spoil if not picked and eaten right away. The friends who may not be with us for as long as we would wish. The beauty of the leaves changing color as they begin the process of dying and falling from the trees. Sukkot comes to tell us that the world is full of good and beautiful things, but we have to enjoy them right away because they will not last. It's a time to learn what I learned in 1997 on the streets of Jerusalem. Karpa Esrog. Seize the Esrog. Seize the day. Enjoy what you have while you can. And may you enjoy with a full heart this festival of Sukkot, the Saman Simchasenu, the season of our joy.